Hey, hey, can you guys hear me okay? Nice to see all of you. Nice to see Steve. Nice to see Martine. Dave, great to see you in there too. Yeah, Dave, I'm using Ecamm Live for this. We were getting really close to the start of the show, so I didn't have enough time to type that out. But I'll tell you, I am loving it. I've had an Ecamm Live license for a long time, and I never really understood the value of it until I needed it. Once I needed it and I started playing with it and I started watching some of the videos on YouTube, that show how to really get into the nitty gritty of it, I'm barely using nitty, let alone nitty gritty. But I'm really, really liking Ecamm Live, and it's definitely worth the license or the annual fee that I'm paying for it, for sure. So yes, if you're thinking about using it, download the trial, give it a go. I really, really like it, and there's so much flexibility with it. Not sponsored by Ecamm, by the way. All right, great to see everybody. I'm going to try to keep an eye on the chat room as best I can. Hey, Brett. Hey, Kirsten. Nice to see you too. Keep an eye on the chat room as best I can. If anybody has a question and I miss it, let me know. But if you preface it with the word question or Q, I'll try to keep an eye on that a little bit better. All right, so this is the exciting one. This is the one where we actually talk about attending Macstock in person, which is going to be really cool. So I want to talk about the format of Macstock's schedule this year. I don't have all the details. I don't have all the talks for the schedule yet, but I do want to talk about the format of the schedule because I think everybody, especially those who've not been to Macstock before, need to understand how it works. Also, a surprise change to our talks themes is plural, because I told everybody, hey, Dave, I told everybody that we were going to have a theme of rebuilding this year, but I switched things up a little bit. I'll talk about that in just a bit. A little speaker update, who we have, who we don't have. Dave. Hotel block reservation links, because you guys are going to need a hotel room while you're out here. Little quick safety protocol update. I don't want to get into all the maps and charts and all that kind of stuff, but just kind of tell you where we are right now with that. And yes, the start of Macstock VI ticket sales. Woo! Love it. All right. So first up, I'm going to stop using these as a pointer. First up, we have got the conference center. Macstock's dates. Contract is signed. Macstock is reserved for July 23rd and 24th, 2022. That is a Saturday and Sunday. This is at the Luke Conference Center at McHenry County College, the same place we've had it before. So if you are or have been to Macstock and are familiar with the conference center, that's where we're having it. If you've not been, it's a fantastic facility. I love the auditorium seating in it. And I think it makes for a nice intimate setting that Macstock is kind of made for. So this is the important bit here. Oh, see, I took off my glasses. I'm sorry, Dave. I didn't mean to make your emoji cry or emoticon cry. Check-in is going to begin at 8, and we're going to wrap up each day by 5 p.m. 5 p.m. That's new. That's new as of yesterday. So I just heard this yesterday. It's apparently new. The conference center just let me know that we have to be done. We have to wrap up the day by 5 p.m. and we have to be out of there by 6 p.m. So we can't go until 6 p.m. because if we do, we're not going to get out on time. So that is new this year. Unfortunately, it is what it is, so we have to end at 5 p.m. and be out of there by 6 p.m. each day, Saturday and Sunday. Now, I mentioned last time that if possible, I wanted to have all of our featured presenters' talks, their deeper dive talks on the main stage. This change yesterday is going to switch that up a little bit. So we are going to have to utilize the breakout room after all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work with the presenters to schedule our more intimate, our more hands-on, our more technical talks for the breakout room where it makes more sense. A little bit more intimate setting is a little bit more appropriate for hands-on or technical type talks. So I'm going to work with the presenters and find out where it's going to work best to put them in the breakout room and who's going to work better on the main stage. So that is new, and that is a change to the schedule. Thanks, Steve. Not a biggie, in my humble opinion, says Steve. I'm going to switch over here and just kind of talk about the schedule a little bit. Just a brief overview of Macstock's schedule this year. So let me switch over to where I'm appearing on the correct side. I realized in the February live stream I was looking in the wrong direction. Well, I fixed that. So now I'm actually looking at my screen. So the Macstock conference schedule. This should be pretty familiar to those who've been to Macstock before. Here we go. Let me get this over to the other screen here. All right, so 2 full days. It is going to be from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Check-in begins at 8. And we're going to run till 5 p.m. Saturday and 5 p.m. on Sunday. The way Macstock works, and this is a little bit different than some other similar type conferences, is that every talk, every presentation by our speakers is broken into 2 parts. If you remember when we started Macstock back in 2015, we had 20-minute talks. That was it. Everybody had to get their entire idea out in 20 minutes. And we slowly began to expand that with what we call deeper dives. So every talk is 20 minutes, and that's for everybody in attendance to get a little taste of everybody's presentation, followed by a 45-minute deeper dive. Now, the deeper dives are in the afternoon. 20-minute talks are in the morning. So with 10 presenters at Macstock this year, what we're going to do is we're going to have 5 morning presenters, each giving their 20-minute talk, break for lunch, and then in the afternoon, we're going to do our 45-minute deeper dives. And that's how each day is going to work. Now, as the talk topics are finalized, those are going to start appearing on the schedule at the Macstock, the schedule page here on the Macstock website. For right now, until I get all the talks finalized, which I'll talk about why they're not quite yet in just a moment, the morning sessions, the 20-minute talks will begin right around 9:25. I tend to talk more than I should, so it might be a little bit later. But I'll try to keep everything on my part succinct this year. I promise. All right, maybe not. I'll try to keep everything succinct. But we're going to start around 9:25 with the 20-minute sessions, and we're going to run till 11:45 with those, 5 each morning. And then break for lunch, as I said. And then in the afternoon, we're going to start the 45-minute deeper dive talks. This is your opportunity to decide who you want to hear more from. Where do you want to learn more about the topic that each of our presenters is giving that weekend? And in the case where we have to double up with the breakout room, you'll have to make a choice. In the cases where we can present the speaker on the main stage by him or herself, then you'll be able to enjoy their entire presentation, 20-minute and 45-minute combined. So that's how Saturday is going to work, and that's exactly how Sunday is going to work. This year, specifically 2022, we don't have any special presentations set up. So each day is going to be a mirror of the other. 20-minute talks in the morning, 45-minute deeper dives in the afternoon, and then we'll be wrapping up by 5 each day. So that's how the schedule is going to work. Now, I talked a little bit about the talk themes. So back in February, I announced that we're going to do a theme of rebuilding. First year back since the pandemic started, we're going to do a theme of rebuilding. And as I thought about it some more, and as I started reaching out to presenters, and I started looking at some of the talks that they had already submitted, I decided I wanted to kind of change things up just a little bit this year. So if you, thank you, Cricket, confirming my auto pay payment. Forgot to mute that. This year, as this is going to be our first in-person Macstock since the pandemic began, the theme is going to be rebuilding, But rather than require each presenter to solely frame their talk within that theme, I'm opening up all the past themes of Macstock. So we had productivity, we had create, we had play, which we never got to do. That was the 2020 theme. And I'm letting presenters pick from any of Macstock's past themes. So we are going to hear talks from productivity. We're going to hear talks from create, play, and rebuilding if they choose to use that one. It's entirely up to them. I'm giving them free rein. I trust each and every one of the presenters to do a top-notch job with the theme that they choose to present. So it's taking a little bit longer to get the talks finalized because I'm giving our presenters a little bit more time to come up with something new if they want to, or to stick with the theme that they chose or the talk they chose previously if they want to. But this way, I figure the speakers can explore better the theme that matches their passion a little bit more closely. So that's how we're doing the themes this year. Okay. Oh, happy birthday, Steve. Almost. July. All right. I am going to switch back over to our website here and let's talk about who our speakers are. All right. So switch over to the Macstock speakers page here. Now, a little bit of bad news. Since our last live stream, 2 of our presenters have had to bow out due to, well, unavoidable scheduling conflicts. I always tell anybody who has volunteered to present at Macstock that family and career always have to come first. If something comes up, they have to give that precedence over Macstock. And in 2 of our presenters' cases that I announced last month, that's been the case. So unfortunately, they've had to bow out. So we're down to 7 at the moment, with 3 speaking slots still open. Now, the good news is I'm waiting to hear back from 2 people that I'm kind of excited to have present if they can. Both of these presenters are new to Macstock stage this year, and both were referred to Macstock by Brett Terpstra. So thank you, Brett, for one. And 2, if Brett referred them, you know they're good people. So I'm excited to hear. One is working on her final presentation idea. So I'm actually hoping to introduce her in next month's live stream. But in the meantime, who is presenting? Hey, Bob, greetings from Tucson. Greetings from Woodstock. This is just a little bit more enhanced version of what I showed you last month. I'm not going to read all of their bios. This is on the speakers page on Macstock's website. At the moment, we have Dave Ginsburg. Dave is with us today in the chat room. Hey, Dave. We have Kelly Gumont is going to be presenting again this year. Chuck Joyner. Jay Miller. Someone new to Macstock stage this year, Brian Pierce. Josh Wrench. And Mike Schmitz. And we're going to have 3 more coming soon. So keep an eye on this page for those. Keep an eye on the Macstock newsletter for those if you want to read any of their bios or you want to support their projects. And that is important. It is important to support our speakers, to support their projects, their podcasts, their books, whatever is important to them. It's important to support them because they're supporting Macstock. So please be sure to do that if you have the opportunity to. Okay, so those are our speakers. Now, what are some of the topics you can expect to hear at Macstock? So I have a few of them in my fancy dancy piece of paper here. So this is so new. This is so new, it didn't even make my iPad, which don't think too much about that, because if you do, you'll realize that this is digital. It's a number spreadsheet, and there's really no reason it couldn't be on my iPad, but just work with me, people. These are the talks I've received so far. All right, so let's start with Dave. Let's start with Dave Ginsburg. Dave is going to give a talk that fits with our play theme. The title of his presentation is How Do We Play Music, Podcasts, and Streaming Services? Consuming Media, basically, is what his title is on, or his topic is on. He wants to talk about the various music services that are out there besides Apple Music, and talk about the worth of subscribing to or not subscribing to some of those services. Obviously, he wants to talk about podcasts. Podcasts are very important to Dave. But most importantly, as he says, these days there are so many ways to consume media, including Apple Music, Spotify, and many more audio services. How do you keep them all straight, and what's best for your needs? So that fits very well with our theme of play. This next one is kind of fun. This is from Josh Wrench. If you remember Josh's talk on cooking from Macstock 2019, that was a whirlwind. He promises another whirlwind this year. Now, this may excite some of you and it may worry some of you, but the project of his talk is Project Management, the Dungeons and Dragons Way. This is going to be fun. This is going to be fun. He writes, when many people hear project management, they think of the painful Gantt charts and reporting status. But that isn't what it is. Project management is making things happen. Completing our projects or stories, just like a game, it's cooperative. Cooperative. Why can't I say that? Cooperative. We can all benefit from understanding the basics and using those basic techniques to mitigate unforeseen variables. So imagine a talk about project management, but framed within this world of Dungeons and Dragons. I think this is going to be really interesting for folks, even if they're not into RPGs, even if they're not into D&D. D&D, Steve says. Yes, there you go. Hey, it's perfect. It's perfect for Macstock. And of course, Josh's talk, it fits within the theme of play. He originally submitted this one for Macstock 2020, so it fits within the theme of play, but he's going to be expanding it a little bit. Specifically, I should probably mention, he's going to be talking about how he personally uses Obsidian for project management, but I had a really nice conversation with Josh the other day on the phone, but using Obsidian for project management, but he's going to talk about other ways you can do it too, if you have other tools at your disposal besides Obsidian. Jay Miller. Okay, now this is, I probably shouldn't admit this, but as I was typing up what Jay had sent me for his talk, I transposed 2 letters, and I had to email Jay last week and say, what the heck is Delrev? I couldn't figure it out. I was doing all kinds of Google search. I couldn't figure out what Delrev was. Well, it's DevRel. It's developer relations is what his talk is. The Tinker Path to DevRel. And I tell you, every single place I retyped his talk into this spreadsheet, I wrote Delrev. I don't know, but it's DevRel. So he very, very kindly corrected me, which thank you, Jay, for doing that. But his talk is going to be a breakdown of an alternative path to a growing career. He learned that as he began to love podcasting, writing, automation, and development, there was a career path that made sense for him. And so for the first time, he was getting paid for his podcasting and video knowledge, and he had the ability to get paid to work on things that mattered to him. I think this is an interesting topic. Hey, Jay's in the chat room. Hey, Jay. Now he can make fun of me in the chat room, too. I'm kidding, Jay. But yeah, it sounds like a really interesting talk. This is one of the conceptual talks that we often have at Macstock. I love these kind of talks because it opens up someone's passion to a broader range of attendees, because he's talking about some of these big pictures, but while at the same time explaining how these same elements that he learned from can be applied to everyone else in attendance. So that is interesting. Brian Pierce, one of our new presenters this year. Brian's talk is called A Spreadsheet is Not a Database. So what he wants to do is, you ever go to put in a screw in the wall and you find that the only thing you have is a hammer? Well, what he wants to do is emphasize that, these are my words, not his. He wants to emphasize that the spreadsheet shouldn't be your hammer when you have a screw to drive into the wall. Yeah, I think that works. I think that works. Now, Brian wrote, the choice of which type of tool to use isn't always clear, and it might depend on many different factors. So the focus of his discussion is going to move to popular database applications on macOS and iOS and the costs associated with each. Now, specifically, Brian works with FileMaker professionally, but I always encourage our presenters, if they're talking about something specific, and in cases where they're talking about something specific that's a little on the expensive side, to explore some of the other options that are out there and how those might be used by everyone in attendance, because we do have folks in attendance from a broad range of skill sets. So not everyone's going to necessarily want to run out and buy FileMaker. So Brian's also going to talk about some of the other popular database applications out there besides the one that he prefers in a professional setting, I should point out, which is FileMaker. Okay. Kelly kind of gave us a sneak peek of her talk at Virtual Macstock last year. Now, unfortunately, we had some technical difficulties, which Dave Ginsburg can attest to because he was very intimately involved in trying to make her video work at Virtual Macstock, and some of you may have been in attendance there too, so you know what we were doing to try to get her talk to work. But she gave a little sneak peek. She very kindly recorded it and allowed us to release it in the Virtual Macstock feed later, after the fact. But her talk is going to be on brain breaks. Now, that was originally my description of it, and she didn't like the connotation that we're breaking people's brains. In fact, the exact opposite is the case. This is about giving your brain a bit of respite, a bit of to relax it, to get away from the things that you're intensely focused on, and to give it a bit of a break. So her talk is going to be on giving yourself and your brain, I could have punctuated what I wrote here a little bit better, and your brain breaks throughout the day in order to potentially lead to increased productivity. It's really interesting because she's not only going to present these talks conceptually, but she also has a unique hands-on way to teach everyone who sits in on her deeper dive ways to relax your mind that you may not have ever tried before. So that's going to be fun. And then Mike's talk, I'm afraid I don't have a very deep definition of this one yet because we only just talked on the phone Friday and he's still kind of fleshing out the idea for his talk. Now, Mike also likes Obsidian. He is very likely going to be talking about Obsidian in his presentation, but it's going to be a very different type of presentation from the one that Josh is giving. Josh's talk is on project management. Mike's talk is going to be on personal knowledge management. So this is something I think everybody in attendance can benefit from, and he's going to show how you can use Obsidian to tackle some of his ideas on how to better manage your personal knowledge. PKM, Personal Knowledge Management. So those are the talks I have so far. We're still waiting on a few others. We're still waiting on Chuck's talk. We're still waiting on talks from those I cannot name yet. And we're going to have 10 total speakers spread out over 2 days, 5 each day. So I think this is a really nice, broad selection of topics that should appeal to everybody in attendance to Macstock this year. Okay. I'm going to take a brief sip of water from my Macstock tumbler. I'm such a shill for my own conference. Macstock hat, Macstock shirt, Macstock tumbler. Come on. All right. Hotels. Hotels. Let's bump over to the hotel page here. So let me just kind of go over the Macstock website here real quick. Location, the location menu item here at the top is where you can find information about the conference center, hotels, transportation, as well as our health and safety protocols that are going to be there. And then the conference menu item up here, top menu item, is where you can go to register to purchase tickets, check out the schedule, check out the list of our speakers, as well as sign in and watch your digital pass content from past years, if you have one. Then, of course, we have other information. The contact and info menu is getting longer and longer, but there are some duplicates in there. So that's just, there's a lot of good information, and there's frequently asked questions, ability to contact me via email. Of course, you can always just write, Mike at Max.conference and Expo. That'll get to me as well. Look up your account and purchases you've made in the past, group discounts, educational discounts, volunteering, signing up for the newsletter, code of conduct, terms and conditions, privacy policy, and our speaker rules. Then, of course, we have our news. We have some Macstock swag over there, which this will be added within the next week. We have 3 hats this year, 3 hats. And then we have neon. We have this one, which is the Macstock Pride hat. And we have the standard white. And all of them, I've moved the logo over to the side here. So this is the debut of the new hats. Those will be on the site soon. And if you purchase anything through the swag store, there's now an option to pick it up at Macstock. So you don't have to pay for shipping. If you're going to be joining us at Macstock, you can choose the option to pick up at Macstock, and it'll be packaged up, ready, and waiting for you when you get there. All right, hotels. Excuse me, let's go over to hotels. So at the moment we have 2. Last month I mentioned 3. One has dropped out. Just like our presenters. Thanks, Steve. The Quality Inn in Woodstock was not able to get together a block of rooms like they thought they could. However, the Comfort Inn in Crystal Lake and the Hampton Inn in McHenry both were able to come up with small blocks of rooms. Unfortunately, they are relatively small blocks. I'm sorry, I'm laughing at something that Dave Hamilton just said, twisting that knife. You know I love you, Dave. I say anything I say to twist that knife, I twist that knife with love. Yes, so we have, I'm sorry, twisting the knife with love got me distracted. Sorry. We have 2 small blocks. So watching the live stream, you kind of have preference. You have this opportunity to get a block at one of these hotels before anyone else because you're watching this live. We have a small block at the Comfort Inn. They have 15 rooms set aside. It turns out with everybody coming back from the pandemic this year, events are just exploding in McHenry County, absolutely exploding. And so many of these hotels were booked months earlier than I ever reach out to them in a normal Macstock year. So it's just completely blindsided me how few rooms are available this year. But we do have Comfort Inn. We have 15 rooms there. We have the Hampton Inn, which has always in the past been able to provide us a lot of rooms. I should point out the Hampton Inn is newly remodeled. which is awesome. I've seen pictures of their newly remodeled rooms. They look great. If you stayed there before, you're going to really like the new look to them, I think. Um, all of these, they have 25 rooms. And both of these, it's a mix of doubles and kings. So whatever they could make available, they've made available to us. And they've made them available at pretty good rates. I was talking to someone um, at on the phone Friday, and they were looking at the Hampton Inn, and they said, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe how much it is." I said, "No, no, wait for the block rate. Wait for the block rate because the rates, if you travel much, you know that the rates at hotels are adjusted based on availability of rooms, based on what's going on in the community at any given time, based on the day of the week. So it just so happens that it is a particularly busy time. And if you just go to the hotel and try to book a room direct, you're going to see much higher rates for any of these hotels um, than if you get a room through one of the block rates. So that's just something to be aware of. Those blocks are available now. I am working with one more hotel who is checking to see if they can get a block reserved for us, and that is the Holiday Inn Crystal Lake. This one I'm kind of excited about because, well, I can't tell you. I can't tell you. I'm sorry. I was going to, but I can't tell you. Um, but they are also newly remodeled. They have a lot of nice rooms. It's a big indoor facility. They have an indoor pool. They have all kinds of really cool stuff there at the Holiday Inn Crystal Lake. I'm hoping they're going to be able to come back and get us a block of rooms there as well. But at the moment, that's not been solidified. So if you're thinking about staying at the Holiday Inn, hold out just a little bit longer. Maybe in the next week or so, I'll let everybody know when a block opens if I can get one there. The rest of these, we have just various area hotels that are all close to the conference center. If you have a preference for a particular chain, or you have rewards points at a particular brand of hotel, there's the Country Inn and Suites in Crystal Lake. There's the Best Western in Woodstock, Quality Inn in Woodstock. They couldn't get us a block, but they might have some individual rooms available. Super 8 in Woodstock, and the Holiday Inn Express and Suites is a little bit further away. I will mention that to you. It's about 12 miles away, 12 to 15 miles away. So it's a little bit further away, but it is a nice hotel. And it's right on, let's see, that's the one, oh, it says Bunker Hill Drive, but that's the one that's on Randall Road, which is a direct, you can get to that by hopping off of I-90 and heading north on Randall, and you'll get to it. So it's not far from the interstate. It's a little bit further from Macstock. But those are the hotels. So anything down here are just additional area hotels, and these up here at the top are the blocks that we have set up so far. Hoping to get more on that. Okay. What are we up to now? Protocol updates. Quick, just real quick. Real quick on protocol updates. As I mentioned last month, we're continuing kind of a slow, measured approach to any changes that we might make. This is brand new news. Omicron BA2, the fun one that's hitting the East Coast right now, has been found in McHenry County. Should let you know. The cases in McHenry County, however, have remained low. So that's important to know. At the moment, it has been found in the county, but cases continue to remain low. Illinois has seen a slight uptick in cases, and it's something I'm watching. However, they're not going up dramatically. They're just a little uptick. Let's see. The later half of March increased to 2,007 new cases a day as of Friday. That would have been last Friday. That was the highest average since February. So it's not much different than where we were in February when we were doing this. In McHenry County, the number has stayed flat, passing 10 cases per 100,000 residents twice since March 12th. Um, so things aren't getting better, they're not getting worse. We're kind of staying even even keeled for right at the moment. So I'm gonna keep things as they are for right now because of Macstock's widely diverse attendance, and because there are some parts of the country where we're starting to see some upticks in this BA2 variant, and numbers are continuing to fluctuate here and there. And based on the survey that we did in January, we're going to keep the safety protocols in place that we put in place in February. And that is proof of vaccination, masks covering the nose and mouth in meeting rooms and indoor spaces for the most part. I have a change to this that I want to talk about in just a second. Socially distanced seating sections provided throughout the presentation rooms. Not all seating will be socially distanced, but there will be sections set aside for socially distanced seating. Now, all new tickets that are going to be sold are going to ask people their preference on seating. For folks who purchased a ticket to Macstock 2020 and that's been rolled over to 2022 or Macstock VI, I need to send out an RSVP survey in May to ask them their preferences. Socially distanced seating has and will continue to be the biggest limiter on attendance. So I may end up relaxing the number of socially distanced seats based on attendee preferences. But we'll see. We'll just see what happens with the remaining tickets that are available, and we'll see what happens with the folks who are out there holding a ticket and need to get back to me still on their preferences. Masks will not be required while actively presenting. That was a concern for virtual Macstock last September, and I know people are going to have that question this year too. They're not going to have to try to listen to a presenter through a mask. The presenter is going to be alone on stage. They're easily 6 feet from the first row of attendees, so that is not going to be required. However, we have multiple people on stage or Brian up there helping get people mic'd up and all that kind of stuff. They'll need to be masked up during that time. Yes, Steve has a question. He says, can we book now and get the block rate at Hampton Inn? Yes, use the links on the Macstock website or call the number and give them the rate group code, give them the group code, and they'll be able to book you a room at the block rate. So that's available right now. Thanks, Steve. That's a good question. Okay, so I needed to try to figure out a way, and I looked at many small conferences. I needed to try to figure out a way to indicate that you've shown proof of vaccination and you don't need to show it anymore because you've shown it. That's going to be at check-in time, whether you come on Saturday, Sunday. We need to come up with a way to show that you've provided that proof and not have to show it over and over again. But also, I mentioned in February that I wanted to come up with a way to allow individuals to indicate to the others in attendance your preference for how comfortable you are with being close to someone, or if you have a preference to not be close to the others in attendance. So, yes, Steve asked Apple Wallet. Yes, a verifiable digital pass, like the one that you can have in your Apple Wallet, is acceptable. And that's in the health and safety page on the Macstock site, by the way. So here's what we got. Here's what we got for not only showing that you've provided proof of vaccination, but also indicating to the others in attendance your preferences on distancing. So give me just a second here. Ta-da! Oh, is the green one? The green one might not even show up. Let's see. Oh, look at that. Look at that. It's magic. If you get a green one, it's magic. Here, I'll show it here. Look at that. Macstock logo on the green one. I love it. All right, so we're going to have these bands. Now, the nice thing about these bands is that they're rubber bands, and that's not like you don't have to permanently keep it on your wrist all weekend long, which those Tyvek bands you'd have to do that with. So I wanted something that would be comfortable for people, and also something that would just tell us that you've shown that proof. So we have 3 different bands. Once you've shown your proof of vaccination, you're going to be able to choose from one of these 3. I promise this won't be transparent when you get there. That's awesome. So we have green, yellow, and red. Bam, bam, bam. And it says right on here, they've been laser engraved. Green says you're good with handshakes and hugs. Aw, handshakes and hugs. Yellow says caution, caution, caution. I shouldn't be looking at my screen. I should be looking at you, shouldn't I? And red is social distancing. So we have 3 different bands. Keep it with you. If you lose it, we'll just ask you to show the proof of vaccination again, and then we'll get you a new one. But we have enough of these for everyone. Janet and I went through and we're trying to figure out the count of these as I was ordering them, and we believe we have enough to cover everybody in attendance with their particular preference for distancing. So that's what we're going to have. These just came in the other day, and I think this is going to be it's going to be comfortable for you. You can take it off at night, and then just remember to put it on again the next day. And that's it. Steve wants the invisible one. Yeah, see, Dave said Podcast Movement did the same thing with red, yellow, and green buttons. Originally, I was going to get just simple stickers and put them on the lanyard. And, you've been to Macstock, you've worn the lanyard, those things flip around all the time. So either we're giving everybody multiple stickers, or we just come up with a fun way to indicate your preference. Steve S. wants the invisible one. I don't know what I can do for you on that one, Steve. You'll have to do it in this room. But yeah, I think these are going to be nice. They're going to be comfortable. Buttons is also a good idea. I kind of wish I had thought about that, but I think these are going to work really well. All right, so that's what we have for those. I mentioned masks indoors. So I came up with something that I unapologetically stole from Walt Disney World and Universal Studios Orlando, and that is relaxation areas. So when they all reopened back in when did they reopen? 2021, when the parks reopened, they had these relaxation areas so that even though masks were required within the parks, you could go to these areas and take them off and relax and kind of get a breather. Now that was super important in Florida, where it's very hot and sticky and muggy and just unpleasant all the time anyway. But I think it's important at Macstock too. So what we're going to do is have relaxation areas. There is no mask mandate indoors in Illinois right now. So the school does not have a mask mandate. So of course you can go outdoors, or you can stay indoors, especially if it's raining. If it's one of those rainy July nights like we've had in the past, you can stay indoors, and we're going to have a section set aside where you can just go relax, take your mask off, take a breather, whatever, and then come back. When you come back to the registration area, the little common seating area just by registration, or inside the auditorium or breakout room, the mask will have to go back on. But we'll have these relaxation areas just kind of indicated. It's kind of an honor system type thing is what I'm thinking. I mean, we're all adults here, and I think it'll work well to give people an opportunity to just kind of take a break. And of course, while you're in that area, we just ask you to respect others' space. especially if you're all sitting, if you're sitting there with your masks off. So that's what we have. That's a little relaxation area set aside. Okay. RSVP attendance reminder. I just mentioned this a moment ago. We're going to be sending out RSVP emails in mid to late May, and that's going to be for confirming attendance. Now, these are first going to go out to those who purchased a ticket to Macstock 2020. It's been 2.5 years. I need to make sure you're coming. If you're not coming, that's going to give me the opportunity to open up that seat for someone else. So that's the big reason for having that. But I need to confirm you're going to be there. I need to confirm that you understand the health and safety protocols. I want to confirm your lunch preferences. And by the way, in March when we did this and I mentioned confirming lunch preferences, I got a couple emails from people who said, I want to make sure I have such and such preference noted for lunch. And I did. If you sent me that email, your preference has been noted. Seating preferences, like I said, socially distanced or just regular open seating, and then any other general feedback that you want to share. So, as I mentioned last time, no weekend passes are going to be held over by the end of Macstock VI. I've been holding them over for 2.5 years. Not doing it anymore. No weekend passes are going to be held over by the end of Macstock VI. So either, as I mentioned, you're going to attend, you're going to get a refund, or I came up with this idea to donate your ticket to what I'm calling like a Macstock community fund. And the idea for that is to open up a seat for a student or someone who might not otherwise be able to attend Macstock. Your donated ticket could go to fund somebody's future attendance. So that will be a third option. I'm still kind of working out the details of that in my head. But those are going to be the three options for anyone who purchased a ticket to Macstock 2020. If you purchase one of the remaining tickets for Macstock VI 2022, I have to assume you know some of this stuff already and you're aware of some of this stuff, but I will very likely send out an RSVP email to everyone in early July just to make sure. Okay. Oh, hey, this is the fun part. Here's the fun part. Ticket sales. Ticket sales. I can't believe I actually get the opportunity to say this. Macstock ticket sales are going to begin. I'm borrowing this from Apple, by the way. You know how they always do their announcements and they say, oh yeah, this is all going to be super, super great, but you can't buy it until next week? I'm borrowing this from Apple. I'm teasing you today. And ticket sales are actually going to begin this Friday, April 22nd at 10 a.m. Probably a little earlier. It just depends on when I get the page live on the website. But this Friday, if you don't have a ticket yet, remember, if you purchased one from Macstock 2020, you have a ticket. If you have not purchased a ticket yet, this Friday, April 22nd, 10 a.m., the remaining weekend passes are going to go on sale, and they're going to be $50 off until May 31st. So let's go back over to the Macstock website, and let's go on up to registration here. Hey, ticket sales begin Friday, April 22nd, 10 a.m. Central. The weekend pass is regular $299. It's going to be $50 off through May 31st. The single day pass, if you need a single day pass, is going to be $149. These tickets are limited. I have to tell you that. They're very, very limited. We pre-sold so many tickets for what was going to be Macstock 2020. With the socially distanced seating this year, there are a very limited number of tickets available. So they're limited. At the moment, there's only about 30 tickets, only about 30 weekend passes available right at the moment. Now, based on January's survey, I'm expecting about 15 to 20% of people who purchased a ticket for Macstock 2020 to ask for a refund. Okay? I've not had those requests come in yet, but I am expecting it. As those refunds are processed, those seats are going to be opened up for sale again. So if the passes available now sell out quickly, don't panic. Just reach out to me, and I'm going to put you on a waiting list. And then that waiting list is going to be first come, first serve. So if these tickets sell out, and they may not, they may last until May 31st or later. But if these tickets sell out, don't panic, there will be some more available. And the number of tickets available will also be adjusted based on what I hear back from people on seating preferences. So there are going to be some adjustments, but right at the moment, based on how things are right now, there's only 30 tickets available. So keep that in mind. If you need a ticket for Macstock VI, I almost said 2020 again. I'm still stuck on that. If you need a ticket for Macstock VI, they're going to go on sale Friday, 10 a.m. They'll be $249, $50 off the regular $299. Oh, let's see. Did I cover everything? Did I cover everything? Oh, Steve, you were saying that Hampton is sold out on July 22nd. Okay, so it looks like Jay got you taken care of. Use the link on the website. Did you get your reservation? So it looks like maybe you did. If not, give the hotel a call. Always call them directly, even if the website says there aren't. Just check, because if they have other cancellations, they'll open up additional rooms for us if they can. But they're very tight this year. I think we covered everything today, people. I think that's it. Are there any questions? Does anybody have any questions on what we covered today? All good. Great. I'm glad to hear it, Steve. Awesome. Well, then I'm going to keep doing these every month in an effort to be as transparent as possible. I say that each month, and I want to keep you guys in the loop as best I can as we get closer to Macstock. With that said, our next live stream is going to be mid-May. Now, I'm scheduling that around a short family trip. I believe the next date that's going to work is, let me look at my handy dandy Fantastical here. May 17th. May 17th is the date I'm looking at for the next live stream. So that one's going to be kind of fun. Now, Jay, confirm this for me. We were trading emails the other day. Are you going to be able to join us in May? I'm going to wait for Jay to respond to that because we got about a 10-second delay here. I think we're going to have Jay Miller joining us for the next live stream in May. He's hiding now. He should be. Yes, Jay will be joining us in May. He's going to not only talk about Tuesday, Jay. May 17th. That's going to be our next live stream. I say this every time. Thanks to you for being here today. This is exciting. I love to see so many of you're all my favorite Macstock people. I love you all. Thank you for bearing with me. Thank you for bearing with Macstock through all this. I mean, it's been a long road to get to this point where I can announce ticket sales. This is awesome. I'm so excited. So I'm going to say it again and again and again and again and again. Your support, your love for Macstock, your love for me and my family and the community means the world to me. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for supporting Macstock. Take care, stay safe, be kind, and we'll talk to you soon. And don't forget, if you have any questions, you know how to get a hold of me, Mike at Macstock Conference and Expo. You can go to the website. You can use the Contact Us form. You can send me a direct message on Twitter. However, whatever works for you. Don't send me a message on Facebook. I'll never, ever see it. I don't do anything on Facebook. But if you want to get a hold of me, Twitter, email. And if you need another way to get a hold of me, if you have a longer discussion you want to have, let me know and we'll set something up to do that too. I'm here for you guys. You've always been here for me, so the least I can do is be here for you. Thanks so much, everyone. If there aren't any other questions, there is another question, and this is a good one. UGU Online says, what is the closest RV campground? Okay, there is that question. I can't tell you exactly the best one to stay at, but there is that question on the frequently asked questions page. We had that a couple years ago, and I added it as a question on that page. So under the contact menu, go to frequently asked questions, and down at the bottom, you're going to see that there is a question on, I'm interested in camping while attending Macstock. Any recommendations? So I do have a couple links that I came up with for someone who asked a couple years ago. I don't know if they would work for you, but they are, they look like they might be some pretty good options. So check them out and see if that works. And if there's anything else, hey, Tom. If there's, I think it might have been you that I did this for the other year. It might have been you. I think it might have been. There were a couple folks who were interested in RV camping. So I have a couple links there, and check them out and see if any of them work for you. So I like when someone writes redacted in the comments. That's awesome. All right. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a great rest of your week. Have a great rest of April, and we'll see you in May. If you're looking for a Macstock ticket, this Friday, April 22nd, 10 a.m., or a little earlier, they'll be available. Thanks. Everyone have a great week. Have a great night, and we'll see you next month, and for some of you, in July. Take care, everyone.